Just over time. 0344 499 1000. Do give us a call. You're listening to me, Mike Graham, right here on Talk Radio.
The Independent Republic of Mike Graham on Talk Radio.
Now, you know when you decide to do something and then you can do the complete opposite thing? Well, that's what I've just done. So never mind. I'll tell you all about that later on. I was going to do a very, very short opening statement at this hour, but it seems somehow I've managed to turn it into one of the longest ones ever. So there we are. It's 7 minutes past 11 already. We need to talk about what is going on at Facebook because Jon Morter is our social media expert. Jon, a very good morning to you. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Good morning, Mike. No problem.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, funnily enough, I was just talking about social media with a guy from the world of politics, where social media is now taking on kind of a new form, and politicians have suddenly discovered it's quite a good way of reaching people that, you know, don't really necessarily know much about politics. But we read today that Facebook is now going to launch its own cryptocurrency, which is quite a staggering development, really, isn't it?
It's potentially huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to take on. Really, what they're doing is taking on the world's banks and saying, well, look, you know, all right, well, we can do this as well.
Yeah.
So it's massive. Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is, people know about cryptocurrencies in name only, if you like. You know, like, I don't really understand what a cryptocurrency does, how it works, how it's bartered, how it's exchanged, how it's turned into real money, and all of those things. This presumably will make it easy and accessible for people who otherwise wouldn't really have ever bothered using cryptocurrency, because if it's on Facebook, you can just access it by having a Facebook page.
You're quite right. I mean, what it's kind of doing is almost, dare I say it, normalising.
Yeah.
Things like, obviously, there's other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin's probably the most well-known, I suppose. The problem with Bitcoin and problem with cryptocurrencies is that they can fluctuate massively. Whereas what Facebook are claiming they're going to do with this new one, which is going to be called Libra, is that they're going to try and tie it to existing currencies in a way where it shouldn't fluctuate. So essentially, you can use WhatsApp, you can use Instagram, etc., Facebook, and buy things. It's almost going to be like PayPal in a way, where it's going to be just almost too easy to buy things. I think that's potentially what could happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wonder what the situation would be for people getting into debt as well, because it's a bit like sort of suddenly giving somebody an online betting account before they had one and linking it to a credit card, whereby you could just carry on betting until somebody says, I'm sorry, you can't have any more money.
True. I do think, however, that there's going to be some sort of control. There's going to be a what's called a digital wallet, where you're going to have a digital wallet. So in theory, and it is all in theory, and it depends if this actually goes ahead as well. In theory, you won't be able to spend what you haven't got.
Right.
So what you don't put in your wallet, you won't actually physically be able to spend. So, again, it's a big if. In theory, debt shouldn't really occur. But like I say, this is very early days.
Sure. Because,
I
mean, that's all very well as long as it's linked to, say, a debit account. But if it's a credit account, you know, that may be a different ball game. But they've already got the association of 27 other companies, MasterCard, Visa, Uber, Spotify, Vodafone. They've all kind of formed themselves into what they call an independent association for this Libra currency. It's a fascinating move, really, because we all talk about a cashless society. And if people start exchanging money, I suppose, on Facebook, there might not be any need to go to a shop at all for anything.
I quite agree. I mean, these are huge hitters, aren't they? You've got eBay as well.
Yeah.
Is another one that's signed up too. So these aren't just sort of like, half-assed companies. These are the big guns, and they've all signed up to go with this. So, this could be a situation where, why have money? Why have it? When you can go on your Facebook, you can go on your WhatsApp, and you can buy goods straight away from eBay, from using your Spotify. You can get a cab through Uber, etc. Yeah. It's decentralising everything. That's their idea. And goodness me, if this catches on and it works, well, I mean, we're going to have Facebook forever, aren't we?
Well, I mean, the one good thing I would say is it might put out of business those horrible, currency exchange places at airports where they charge you the earth for changing your money into something that you're never going to actually spend.
I absolutely agree with you, Mike. Yeah. I mean, things like that and touting potentially could be a very difficult thing to do as well.
Yeah.
So I think, I can see why there's concerns about this, but also, I think there could be huge benefits from it as well. So I'm interested. I'm intrigued to see how this is going to pan out.
Yeah. What's the time frame on it? Do you know?
I believe 2020, so we've not got long, is the possible rollout date for this. It's not confirmed either, so there's still, it still could be shelved. Facebook, it wouldn't be the first time that they've planned something and have shelved it. And also, as well, about a decade ago, actually, Mike, they did actually try something called Facebook Credits.
Right.
Where, if you remember, you may, some listeners may remember that there was a big trend in online gaming where what they tried to do is make credits for their Facebook
Yes,
games.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, which didn't really sort of work, but... and that got ditched after, I think, a couple of years. So you never know. It depends if it works or not, really.
And the Bank of England, Mark Carney, has said that they're going to keep a close eye on it because it may need some serious regulation, which could be the understatement of the year, perhaps.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I mean, look, Facebook have had trust issues in recent times, obviously with recent elections and etc. So I think that one thing that Facebook have said actually is that they don't want it directly connected to their app. So they don't want it directly connected to WhatsApp. They don't want it as part of Facebook. They want it as a separate entity.
Right.
So that could be where they get around that.
And because it involves money, I suppose they'll have to have some pretty serious safeguards as well, won't they?
I would assume so, yes. And I think that, yes, pretty much anyone over 13 can have a Facebook account. But I think to have this Libra, as they're going to call it, they've got to have. I think they're going to have checks, like the way you join a bank,
Yes, it's fascinating times, though. Thanks very much indeed, Jon Morter there, telling us all about this new plan by Facebook to set up a cryptocurrency. I mean, I suppose it had to happen. But the worry about Facebook, of course, with everything that they do, is what they do with your data, how much of your data that they collect is then sold on. Because let's face it, if, for example, the idea that Facebook makes you their product, because that's what we're now being told, that if you're doing something and getting something for free, then you are the product. If they start running a banking system, then we are not the product of that. And they do not have the right, I wouldn't have thought, to use us as sort of guinea pigs and data farming manoeuvres. So it's going to be a very, very interesting way forward, and we'll see how it all works out. But we'd love to hear from you, of course, on this one as well. 0344 499 1000. Coming up, though, we're going to talk about venues and why some people believe they're still too vulnerable to attacks. Because at the moment, for example, in the wake of the Manchester Arena bomb, the worry is that when you go to see the Spice Girls, when you go to see Fleetwood Mac, when you go to see Elton John, when you go to any of those big shows in big stadiums, there's not very much security. When you